Good afternoon. This is MetLoop meteorologist Nancy Koslick here with an update on today's forecast. We're continuing to watch quite a wintry mess make its way through portions of the United States this afternoon, and we're seeing not only rainfall and thunderstorms, but of course also some freezing rain and snow, all associated with the same upper level low pressure system that we've been tracking for the last couple of days. So let's jump right into it and take a look exactly where this guy is hanging out right now. We're starting to see the center of that low track off to the east and northeast, and this will continue to be the case over the next couple of days, eventually moving its way up into the Great Lakes region. Now, of course, around this low, we're seeing plenty in the way of rainfall all down along that frontal boundary that extends all the way through the portions of the southeast and back down into the state of Texas. And along this boundary is where we could see some of those stronger thunderstorms a little bit later on this afternoon, especially for the south and extending up maybe part of the way into the Midwest. But of course, as further north you get, you start to transition over into that freezing rain and of course the snowfall out there. So a little closer look at exactly where we're seeing that transition over into the freezing rain this afternoon, and it's really heading up into the Great Lakes region. We're seeing it into portions of Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Of course, we're looking for a bit of ice accumulation heading back into portions of Iowa and Nebraska. So if you live in this area of the country or plan on traveling anywhere here for the rest of this evening and the overnight hours, be aware that this is happening and it can be very, very dangerous out there. Of course, as we make our way a little further to the south, we're still seeing lots in the way of that shower and thunderstorm activity. And of course, as we continue through the rest of today, we'll see some continued warmer temperatures, especially down here into the southern portions of the country, and that's where we can start to see some development of those thunderstorms. Notice the very last little part of this loop, we're starting to see a thunderstorm develop into the northern portions of Louisiana. So the warm, moist air coming from the Gulf colliding with those cold temperatures and the lift from the front itself, we could get some of those stronger storms going for the rest of the day. Here's a look at the projected ice accumulation over the next 24 hours, and notice it follows exactly where that freezing rain is falling on the radar right now. So again, if you live in this area of the country, anywhere in northern Michigan, heading into Wisconsin, and back down as far south as northern Iowa, this could be a real problem heading into this afternoon and this evening, especially as those roadways become very slick. We're continuing to experience very cold temperatures for the majority of the country, but notice the sharp temperature differences as you make your way down into the southeastern portions of the United States, and this is because we're still seeing that warm, moist air in place, but it's starting to collide with that cold and drier air, which is where we could see some of that thunderstorm activity popping up a little bit later on this afternoon and into this evening. So once again, keep in mind that swath that we were talking about earlier when we were looking at the radar. This is where we could see some of those strong to possibly severe storms for the rest of this evening and into tonight. Here's a look at the future radar and all of the activity associated with that upper level low as it tracks its way to the northeast for the rest of the night. Notice we're going to continue seeing plenty in the way of showers, thunderstorms, and freezing rain and snow extending all the way from the Great Lakes region down through the eastern half of the U.S. and back down into Texas. So if you live anywhere in this area of the country, be sure to be careful on those roadways tonight, especially up in the north where we could see some of that ice accumulation through the rest of the overnight hours. As always, you can receive more of your weather information on our Facebook page as well as Twitter and metloop.com. Thank you very much for watching and have a great afternoon.